as well. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of NFL Now on NFL Network from our newsroom in Los Angeles. Hi, I'm Andrew Siciliano. Does Jerry Rice actually think Larry Fitzgerald is the greatest? We will ask him being Jerry Rice. The Hall of Famer is going to join us in about 15 minutes. Can Jared Goff throw it 68 times Thursday and beat Russell Wilson? He's not going to do that again, are we? We're live with both teams ahead of TNF. Plus, did the balance of power really shift in the AFC North Sunday? Maybe not. We'll put that division in the spotlight. But we begin with what is new right now in our newsroom. And we begin with our Mike Garafolo. Hi there, Mike, on NFL Now. We had the question yesterday when we heard of the Vontaze Burfict suspension. Is he really staying in London as he appeals this thing? We now know he turned right back around and came home.
He did, and it's interesting to me because these things are usually done by telephone, and my understanding is the expectation is that will be the case here as well. But I can tell you this, having spoken to folks on all sides of this one, it's not going to happen today. That is the expectation because they're still lining up how this thing's going to be done and who's going to hear it, whether it's James Thrash or Derek Brooks. We don't even have an answer on that one, which I think is somewhat interesting because Thrash reduced Burfict's last suspension from 5 to 3 games. Derek Brooks had one before that where he upheld a 3-game suspension. Interesting that the wide receiver knocked it down, but the linebacker held it up. Anyway, so we'll see which one of those guys winds up hearing it. Now, usually these things are heard quickly. Usually on a Tuesday, and you've got a decision either by late Tuesday or early Wednesday. But no one is expecting that this is going to be reduced from the rest of the season down to 0 games. If it's reduced, it'll be somewhere in between, meaning his status for this weekend is pretty clear. He is not going to play no matter what this weekend. So there's really no rush by anyone involved here to get this thing done quickly. So we'll see. Maybe the hearing gets done tomorrow, and we have a decision soon thereafter.
Yeah, that was my obvious follow-up. There's no way this is getting totally eliminated. If anything, it gets knocked down because the idea of Vontaze Burfict turning around and going back to London is absurd. Tyron Smith left the Cowboys game in New Orleans Sunday night with what Jerry Jones at the time described as a high ankle sprain. Still some question as to whether it's that kind of ankle sprain, but it doesn't appear that regardless of the severity, he's going to play this week.
No, that seems to be the case, and Jerry Jones said that on radio today, but Jones did say that they got fantastic news, which lines up with what our Ian Rappaport reported, that he might miss only 1 week here, which is huge. I mean, this is a guy that's dealt with a number of injuries over the past couple of years, so that was a scary roll-up that could have been a lot worse. High ankle sprains, you're usually talking a month, if not more, particularly if you're a big-bodied guy on top of that ankle right there. So great news for the Cowboys. Might only miss this weekend's game. Cameron Fleming expected to step up into his place. They've got the Jets the week after, and then the week after that is the Eagles. So the expectation is he should be back for that Eagles game, if not the week before. Great news for the Cowboys and Tyron Smith.
They do, however, get a very good Packers pass rush coming up this Sunday. So Cowboys and Packers. Meantime, it's the Redskins and the Patriots, with Jay Gruden saying he's going to hold his cards as to which quarterback he is going to start. I love the fact today, by the way, total aside, that Bill Belichick said they're getting ready for 3 quarterbacks and all 3 are really, really, really good. Emphasis added on the reallys by me. Any clarity here from the Redskins?
Well, what I found interesting with the quote, and I said I know he's lying now because he said all 3 look good. Well, only 2 have played so far.
Only 2 have played.
I know it's Belichick.
That's the better way to say it. He didn't go really, really. That was just me. But yes, many reporters on the call with Belichick kind of went, and these were Redskins reporters, I think, snarkily going, really?
Yeah, right, exactly. And some have noted that Colt McCoy did play against Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the past. However, he made it seem like it was the present tense. Regardless, it's Belichick making sure that his guys are ready for this game and not going to look past the Redskins, just as he made sure they didn't look past the Dolphins a couple of weeks ago. No answer yet. At this point, I'd just be guessing. I am working to find out some more information. But, I'm looking at Colt McCoy I really am, because he went through that last week of practice, and everything that I was told was he looked really good in his return to practice. He was listed as a full participant during those sessions as well. So I think that's the one that makes sense to me. I mean, are you really going to throw Haskins out now against a New England Patriots defense that is playing outstanding football when he struggled against the Giants defense that really has not played well and has not taken the ball away like that? So I'm looking at McCoy to step in here potentially in the near future.
Hopefully, Colt McCoy can move around and be a little mobile. Well, that was an issue, certainly. That's what's held him back a bit as he tries to come back from that broken leg. And by the way, it is pure coincidence that I am wearing a burgundy and gold tie. More from Mike Garafolo a little bit later.
He fires middle. It's caught for the touchdown.
On the run, lost it to the end zone for the touchdown.
Here's the snap, retreats the throw, looking left all the way. He slides there, throws left side, caught by Cooper Kupp. Russell looking left, going to throw to the end zone. He's got Disley back in the end zone. He has got it. Touchdown, Seahawks.
And I mean this sincerely. All due respect to the 49ers, who are 3-0, because we're going to talk plenty about them in these next 2 hours. Many view this Seattle-LA game as kind of for the top of the NFC West, because that's how this division has been the last couple of years, these two teams. Granted, I know it's much deeper than that, but let's put our Thursday night game to open up Week 5 into focus here. We're live with both teams, and we're going to begin with the Rams and with Steve Wyche, who is in Thousand Oaks, and a beautiful day. It feels like fall here, kind of sort of in Los Angeles the last couple of days. And in the fall, Steve, you run the football. Todd Gurley's not running the football. What's going on here?
Well, the narrative, when you look at the stat line of Sunday's loss to Tampa Bay, is Todd Gurley carried the ball 5 times, and that is problematic. But look one line down on the stat sheet, Andrew. He was targeted 11 times and had 7 catches. Now, Sean McVay said part of that was strategic to get Gurley open in the open field and to get him involved in the passing game. But the other part was circumstance of the game. They fell behind 21-0. They had a bunch of penalties early on that instead of 1st and 10, they're 1st and 15, so they tried to open up the field to try to get Gurley the ball. But as the game went on, Sean McVay got away from the run game. It wasn't just Gurley. They ran the ball just 11 times overall. Part of that also was to counter the Buccaneers' defensive strategic plan. And speaking with one of their coaches, who was one of several I spoke to about what teams are doing against the Rams, the Buccaneers tried to really jam up the off-tackle running game and try to stop that from going, so that would discourage the play-action pass game. So the lack of runs that you saw, again, were countermeasures to strategy and circumstances of the game, which really interrupted the Rams' flow. Don't expect to see Jared Goff throwing it 68 times again against the Seahawks.
And listen, I'm going to sound like a homer here. This week I buy that storyline. This week meaning the Buccaneers game. They take away the outside zone. You're not going to run Gurley up the middle 100 times. And the game got out of hand when it's 21-0. But, and I said this Sunday, that touchdown run we showed you there did look like the old Todd Gurley. He put his head down. He showed power. He pushed his way across the goal line. That is a positive thing to look at. A negative thing to look at is how many times this team is turning the ball over. And that goes on the quarterback for now, Steve. Jared Goff has 7 turnovers in his last 2 games.
And he leads the NFL with 9 giveaways at this early point of the season. And, Andrew, this is a mixture of interceptions and fumbles. Now, Sean McVay said that's a big focus. They have got to do a better job taking care of the ball. And when it comes to the fumbles, Goff said most of them, and we've seen it, is when he's climbing the pocket, he reaches back to throw the ball, and somebody hits his arm. So that's either him maybe taking a little bit too long to get the ball out, the protection breaking down. Goff said he's conscious of it, but he's still got to throw the ball, so he can't let it consume him. Again, the focus on ball security is huge, because we talked about them falling behind 21-0 against the Buccaneers. Those giveaways are a reason why they fell behind, and they got themselves in trouble against Cleveland as well.
Yeah, 68 pass attempts, not good for anybody. Thank you, Steve Wyche. Rams need to fix their turnover issues, and they're going to have to do it in a loud environment on the road coming up on Thursday. Let's go to Seattle, specifically Renton. other side of the water from the stadium, but Omar Ruiz is there live with the Seahawks perspective, with Russell Wilson playing, conversely, really, really well right now.
In fact, Pete Carroll said it's the best he's ever been. Russell Wilson's MVP candidacy under the spotlight this week. 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Andrew, he's on pace for the second highest completion percentage in NFL history. And Pete Carroll saying it's not just about these gaudy numbers, it's the efficiency with which he's working. Let's take you back to the second quarter against the Cardinals on Sunday. This sequence really illustrates the Russell Wilson experience. 3rd and 4. Gets rid of it to Jaron Brown right now, shows the arm strength, whips it where he has to, and then that play, the very next play to Tyler Lockett, just over DJ Swearinger, putting enough arm strength and touch on the ball. A couple plays after that, you saw the Will Dissly touchdown, 9 yards, perfectly in stride. Russell Wilson commanding the game in every way. They expect that to continue on Thursday night.
Let's talk about Will Dissly, Omar. He's turning into a touchdown machine and a fantasy god.